Okay. So the name Mr. Take Your Baby Mama, why did it even come to the surface in the first place?
Because it was like, when I thought about it, I was like, okay, I have took some baby mamas out here. You know what I'm saying? And I love the kids. Like, I love kids unconditionally. So it was like, okay, why not go with that name? And then I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, what if somebody say, well, what about your baby mama? Well, somebody took her too, but we weren't together when they took her. You know what I'm saying? So she's somewhere else too. So somebody had to brag on it. Hey, I can't even be mad, my boy, but you didn't take her from me. We was already broken up. She had already moved.
Okay, well. So back in the day, I'm assuming you were actually taking baby mamas. So why were you on that wavelength?
Because it was like, when you're dealing with women that have children, they got responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? They got priorities. And a lot of times, they're not asking for much. They just want a little love and a little attention. But a lot of times, us fellas, due to not properly being taught right as an adolescent how to treat a woman, or being able to have those examples on how to treat a woman that have children or that's about to bear a child, we neglect it. We think that, oh, she don't want to talk to me. She don't want to be bothered with me. She must not like me. No, it's not you. She's going through her own mentals right now. But because we was never taught that, we react by thinking she don't want us, and then we go to the streets for that love and affection. Yeah. So while you going to the streets for that love and affection, I'm knocking on the door with a Capri Sun and a honey bun.
So why the hell are you... Hey everybody, it's your girl DJ with Plan for Keys podcast. And today I have Mr. TMP.
Yeah.
Yes, he is a radio host,
for sure,
podcaster, just a music mogul. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I appreciate you making time and stopping by.
Appreciate it. You know, it's crazy because it's like, as many times as people want to, you know, get you to come out and do certain situations, it's nothing like having a person that actually reach out and actually make conversation and get the relationship before you just come on. Because sometimes when you go to certain events, it's like being at a job interview or you back in the interrogation room because they don't know you and they ain't did their homework. But, you know, when you do your work, you do your homework, or even if you just build that relationship prior to it, and make it a smooth sail. So appreciate you for having me on.
Yes, most definitely. And I've loved it, just getting to know you and just knowing how supportive you are of just other people and all of that stuff. So, again, I appreciate you coming on.
For sure.
You are here for Dating Chronicles, where you give a funny, crazy, or lesson learned dating story. But before we dive into all of that, I want to know more about you. So right now you got a new single out.
Yep, 90s out.
Yes, 90s. Tell us a little bit about that single and kind of your creative process as to how you created it and why.
For sure. With 90s, like, I always grew up loving R&B music, especially the 90s era, because I'm a 90s baby. So during that time frame when I wrote the song, I unfortunately signed the paperwork thinking I'm signed to a particular label. And when I got no response from them, it was like I felt like I slick blackballed myself because the contract was for a year. So I felt like if I would release any music under my artist name at the time being KT, which is my nickname, I'm like, darn, they can come back and take me to court. I didn't really know the business side like that. And I was fresh home from trucking school. So it was like, I'm still trying to get back on the ground because I left music alone for a certain time period. And now I'm diving back into it. So with 90s, when I was writing it, it was like, okay, I need something to get the women. Like, I know I can get the homies. I already got the homies, but I don't have the women. Yeah. And this was new to me because at the time, me and my daughter mother had just split. We was together for 6 years. So all I knew from 2011 to 2017 was her. Okay. So it was like trying to figure out how to talk to a girl again. If that made sense. Like, I had to learn how to, like, flirt with them, and then the game is different. Because what we were doing in 2011, they weren't doing the same in 2017, you know. Right. So now I'm learning the game. So it was like, okay, only way I can do it is just be myself. And, you know, you hear a lot of guys that, you know, they brag and they boast. But one thing about the 90s music is it made you use your imagination. It made you, like, and even the 80s, let me not take away from the 80s and the 70s R&B because they were the creators that led to the 90s. But it was like that 90s was that baby-making era with R&B. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's true. So it was like, that's what I was trying to recreate. But I was like, I don't want to paint a picture. I just want to tell it from me. You know what I'm saying? And anything I put in my music, like, of course, other artists, you know, they fabricate certain things, but I'm one of the people that, if you listen to my lyrics, 85 to 90% of what I'm saying is true, and you can go fact check it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, how can I make it relevant? So I wrote the song out. I was like, okay, it's a cool idea. At this time, I think, what was that app? Triller. Triller was coming out. Everybody was doing the different videos. Then I went to my homie spot and I recorded it. This was the first song in a long time I did that. I didn't self-record myself. Okay. So when he recorded me and, you know, he listened to me, he like, bro, you got this bit, bro. And he young, like he was young at the time. And his music was, I would say, what we're now listening to. He was really before his time with the kind of music. So once I got him to like bag me up, I'm like, oh, this is an R&B track, and he hooked it up. I'm like, okay, bet. So I sat on it. I didn't release it until I say mid 2020 when United Masters came out, because I'm from the MySpace mixtape era days. So I didn't know anything about digital streaming. So at this time, I'm still trying to call up some DJs, figure out how to get on live mixtape main page. And I'm at work, shout out my bro Yano, he was like, "Big bro, you don't gotta pay nobody. It's free now." I'm like, what? So he showed me United Masters, and at the time, before everybody hopped on, they gave every artist access to release their music and unlimited music, even without having a premium. You just had to wait 2 weeks for the release. Okay. So I started out like that. United Masters, I had my fun with them. I leave it like that. But now I'm on DistroKid. So when I went to DistroKid, I removed all my music off from United and had to basically revamp, restart over. But not necessarily start over by re-recording, but start over in the sense of actually properly marketing my music. Properly like putting it in the right people's hands instead of just saying, hey, I got a new single that dropped. Check it out. Yeah. No, everybody got a single that's out. Right. It's a million songs being dropped today. So how can my song be different, or me as an artist stand out more than what you already is attracted to? So I just started like really taking my time, and as I'm like going through my music, because anybody can say, okay, well, I just take what I already had, track list, and just re-upload it the same way. I want to do it different. That way, even if you heard Mr. TMP1 the first time originally, it's similar to what you heard, but I switched it up. You might have a new track over here, or I may have took a track away to whereas the first time it may not have caught your attention, or it may not have been attractive for your ears at the time. So now I'm making it to where everything was blending. And one thing that I had to learn in this process was, and a lot of artists, I ain't gonna say fail at it, but they have a hard time adjusting to leaving the streets alone. I had a lot of musical content that was street affiliated that I didn't want to be re-put back into the universe. Okay, because I can't expect anyone, man or woman, no matter what race, size, or color, to respect me as an artist and as a man if I'm still doing street-like activities and I'm putting it out there in my music. You see what I'm saying? And I got a 9-year-old daughter now. At the time, my baby was like 7 going on 8. Yeah. And now she's learning my music. Now she's rapping my lyrics. So it's like, okay, I don't want this type of influence on you.
That's what's up.
You see what I'm saying? So when it came to 90s, I'm thinking I had already released it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I say like last year, I got into some little legal situation, right? So I did like my last project with recording because I ended up selling my MacBook and everything else. And I'm like, okay, here we are now because it's almost over with. I'm like, I gotta drop some more music. Yeah. And I was like, hold on. I still got like 3 tracks in the vault. So as I'm going through my hard drive, I run across 90s. And I said, okay. You dropped it before, but you didn't really put that effort behind it. Then I thought about Soulja Boy. A lot of people don't really know all the songs on Soulja Boy's first album, he had already released them years prior. But when he got signed, he turned around and basically remixed them. Well, not remixed them like a remix, but mixed them up better, had them mastered, and now he has the world's attention. So when he put those same songs out, now it's getting more notoriety because now he have more people listening. Yeah. So I said, okay, as I was going through my legal situation, I was like, okay, let me get myself together as a businessman because everybody know me as the podcaster and the music artist, but no one really seen me act in business. Yeah. So once I put my business hat on, start making the right connections, start making the right conversations, then I'm like, okay, now it's time to drop that music because now I got everybody that's respectful enough, that's worthy enough, and that can actually help me the way I want to help them. I got their attention now. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? So when I dropped 90s, it was like, okay, let's just see what happens. And next thing you know, it's been going up. So even with the promo video, right?
Yeah, I saw. Ooh, that was fire.
So I got so this how I did it, right? I'm on the way to work. I mean, I literally cooked that promo up driving to work. I did that in like a 5-minute time span. So I'm like, I did this set schedule on Instagram, like, have it for a time frame. So I go to work at 2. I set it up for 3:30. So I'm like, okay, by the time I go on break, I can see if anybody really liked it. I know I might not get, you know what I'm saying? Man, I went on break. The comments was going up. The likes was going up. And people calling my phone, bro, that's you in the video? I'm like, no, that's not me. And they like, nah, bro, that's you. I'm like, bro, look at my tattoos and look at that gentleman's tattoos. We don't match.
That wasn't you?
No. Nope.
Yo, I thought that was you too.
See what I'm saying?
That wasn't you?
Nope. Not at all. Not
I'm gonna go back and look at it. I don't believe
Go ahead.
You.
That ain't me. And I'm gonna tell you how. Cause like during our era coming up in high school, getting ready to get up out of high school, all of us was rushing to get tattoos from junior year leading up to senior year. Yeah. I had my first tattoo by the time I jumped in my senior year.
Yeah.
Then I added 3 more by the time I got ready to graduate.
Yeah.
So I already had tattoos in high school. So if you look at that, don't get me wrong, it can be mistaken for the young me, but that ain't me.
That ain't you?
Nope.
That gentleman look like you.
Nope,
okay?
That ain't me. Just hit the pause button and catch his face.
I'm definitely gonna go back and look. Okay, so
sure.
She say she wanna sex me.
Yeah.
How that lyric pop up?
I mean, cause it was like I'm always talking to a woman, but I never express how they really feel. So it's almost like if I'm bragging about a situation, the woman's not there to vouch for it. So let me speak on what she would want to say. You see what I'm saying?
Or what you think she would want to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in my case, I can't say what she think because it's already been proven to be a fact.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying? So that's why I made that line. I made a line in reference to myself, and I said, "Ain't no photoshopping me. I do it so well. I got the porn companies want to sign me." You see what I'm saying? So it's like, now it's making a woman think like, oh, if he do it like that and they want to sign him, he must be fired what he do. Let me find that.
I hate that you told people that wasn't you in the video, because you definitely, with that video and how he was acting in that video, yeah, it definitely matched those lyrics.
And you know what's crazy? Everybody been coming to me like, bro, you need to do an OnlyFans version of the video. And I'm like, I don't know. But then I thought about NLE Chopper and Sukiyana with they single and how they got the regular version and then they got an OnlyFans version.
Yo, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yo, these people really making money.
So it's like, okay, what? Because think about it, on OnlyFans, there's no copyright restrictions. So you can play whatever music that you want in your content and put it out there. You just need people to subscribe to the page.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I want to go back a little bit. So back in the day, you used to be, was it Mr. Take Your Baby Mama?
Originally, I started out as KT. So since we're in a relationship, I got to keep it 100. I was originally Little T, like how everybody had the littles in their name.
Okay.
A girlfriend I was dating 10th grade broke my heart. So then I wanted to be like, okay, forget that. I ain't no lover boy. I'm a killer now. I'm Killer T. But then I got around, shot my boy OG Mako. Me and him went to high school together. Me and him would chop it up in class. He was like, bro, you can't be no killer. That ain't gonna make you no money. Ain't nobody gonna be attracted to that. So I was like, all right, what can I do then? I was like, you know what? Let me drop the killer and just be KT.
Okay.
And that's universal. You know, KT go black, white, Asian, whatever. But you won't know until you meet him. So I went by that all the way up until, like I said, I signed that contract in 2018. Yeah, going into 28. Well, I signed it, going into 2018. Signed that. Once I went through that, I'm like, oh, I gotta reinvent myself. Like, they got my name now. Like, now I'm feeling like I'm actually an artist that's going through real label-like situations, and y'all got me. What can I do to break up out of this? So that's when I was like, okay, True Made Production, that's my brand. It's always been that. It's tatted on me, and we're not a gang.
Yeah.
You see, that was the one thing, too, I would tell anybody that come work with me. True Made Production is not a gang. It's True Made Production. Keyword, production. Yeah. We're here to produce. We're here to service the community, service those in the entertainment business, and whatever entities that we decide to step in. So I was like, okay, well, why not be Mr. TMP? It's your brand. So be the Mr. behind. And that's how it came about. And Mr. Take Your Baby Mama.
Yeah.
That came once I started doing podcasts, because I was like, shout out my boy Ant with Good Gas Talk. They actually gave my first opportunity to be a guest on the podcast. Okay. And this was right, I would say right after NIP passed, Long Little Neighborhood NIP. Right when NIP passed, they gave me an opportunity to be on there. And bro was like, how you want me to introduce you? How you want me to bring you in? And I'm like, I don't want to be brought in as a rapper, because then everybody going to see me as a rapper. Yeah. I said, you know what? Mr. Take Your Baby Mama. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, me and my sister was already thinking about it. Shout out my sister Quilla. We was thinking about it prior to, and we was going to do a podcast. But she ended up getting pregnant with my niece. And shout out to all the women out there, because pregnancy is not easy. She was sick every day at work. Ooh. So we couldn't work together because she was still trying to keep herself up. So it was like, okay, I already had the name and the idea, but I didn't know what to do with it. So after he introduced me to his podcast and I hopped on there and I realized how relaxed it was. Just like how we sit down now. It was so relaxed. I don't have to worry about nobody. I don't have to look over my shoulders. I was like, you know what? I want to do this. And I say probably about 2 to 3 months later, I tried it out and I ain't never looked back.
Okay. So the name, Mr. Take Your Baby Mama, why did it even come to the surface in the first place?
Because it was like, when I thought about it, I was like, okay, I have took some baby mamas out here. You know what I'm saying? And I love the kids. Like, I love kids unconditionally. So it was like, okay, why not go with that name? And then I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, what if somebody say, well, what about your baby mama? Well, somebody took her too, but we wasn't together when they took her. You know what I'm saying? So she's somewhere else too. So somebody had to brag on it. Hey, I can't even be mad, my boy, but you didn't take her from me. We was already broken up. She had already moved.
Okay, well. So back in the day, I'm assuming you were actually taking baby mamas. So why were you on that wavelength?
Because it was like, when you're dealing with women that have children, they got responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? They got priorities. And a lot of times, they're not asking for much. They just want a little love and a little attention. But a lot of times, us fellas, due to not properly being taught right as an adolescent how to treat a woman, or being able to have those examples on how to treat a woman that have children or that's about to bear a child, we neglect it. We think that, oh, she don't want to talk to me. She don't want to be bothered with me. She must not like me. No, it's not you. She's going through her own mentals right now. But because we was never taught that, we react by thinking she don't want us, and then we go to the streets with that love and affection. Yeah. So while you going to the streets with that love and affection, I'm knocking on the door with a Capri Sun and a honey bun.
So why the hell are you knocking on the door with the Capri Sun and the honey bun?
Because it's like, I see it. I see how easy it is to capitalize on it. And what I mean by capitalize is like, when you with a girl that has a child, or children for that matter, like I said, they don't want much. They just want a little love and affection. But they down to listen to everything that you want to tell them because you're making the time for them. And when they see that you care about their children first, they love that. Yeah. Especially when the actual daddy of these kids ain't even caring about his own kids. Then I slide through. And I'm the type of person that we can do, and you can still call me later on and I'll give you relationship advice. And depending on how, and that's always been my thing too. If I'm dealing with a girl that has a man, I'm already knowing what I'm accepting. Same thing with being Miss Take Your Baby Mama. I'm already accepting the fact that if her baby daddy come in and catch us, he has the right to feel the way he feel. He has the right to want to get aggressive. He has the right to want to turn up and we can take it to a melee because I'm violating. You see what I'm saying?
So why were you okay with being in that space?
Because I was already hurt.
So hurt people
hurt people. Yep. And at that time, and I'm a Virgo, so, you know what I'm saying? Once that toxicity kicks in on us, we don't care about nobody.
Do you think you actually cared about the woman that you were dealing with?
Yeah, I care about all my women. You know what I'm saying? When I was out there in the field, I cared about all of them. I'm going to tell you how bad it was. Before I had a child and before me and my baby mama got together, when I was a player, I literally had 5 women for 1 week. Every woman had their own individual day, and everybody knew about each other. When I was out, before the term finessing and jugging became popular, we was really already doing it. So when I used to work at the airport, I had a little finesse move to where I get all the designer frames back when Ray-Bans was popping. The Michael Kors touchscreen watch before Apple even came out with a smartwatch. All my women had the top of the line stuff. If I go pull up on one Monday, I'm giving her stuff. Pull up on the other Tuesday, I'm giving her stuff. When the other ones come back from college on the weekend and come back to their mama house, I'm giving them their stuff. So now it made it to the point to whereas it had them thinking, why should I get in a relationship with somebody new that ain't even going to care about me? But I got this guy over here that pull up when I call, answer my phone calls, give me with, materialistic things to make them feel whole. Why?
So how were you able to do all that? They calling you. So say if you were with one and one call you in need, were you leaving that one to go to that one? How did that work?
It depended on the circumstance. Like I had one situation, one of them got in a car wreck. So, but the other one was living with me at my mama's house. So it was like, okay, this is a real life situation. So I dropped everything. What Pa said, drop everything, Craig's in trouble, come quick. Yo, I'm out of there. You know what I'm saying? And I went to aid for her, make sure she was straight, came back to the crib. Of course, I heard her little mouth about it, but at the end of the day, it's like this a real life situation. She could have been up out of here.
Right. So let me ask you, because you said all of them were cool with it.
Yeah, they knew their position.
They knew their position, but then you would hear their mouth.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. Even if someone is doing everything for you, and you know they got options, essentially, some part you gonna be like, I want my time to just be my time. I don't want to have to share that time. But unfortunately, because you knew what you accepted by dealing with me, you got to respect your time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, and this is before the whole term of being, how can I word it?
Polyamorous?
Nah. Like, well, let me add it first. Can we say provocative words?
Yeah.
Okay, before they got digmatized, before it was a digmatized term, you got their mentals. See, that was the thing about me. I never been the type to want to use my sexual abilities to captivate a woman. I want to get your mentals. I want to get your emotions. Because at that point, now I got you. Everything else will fall through
So
afterwards.
everything was calculated, would you say, in a way?
Yeah, monopoly. I'm going for that boardwalk in that park place.
God.
And I want my hotels on those. So when you come around here, you're not coming back around.
So let me ask you this. You were given material things and giving your time. Was it just to help you kind of get through the fact that you probably still were hurting these women by dividing your time?
Well, at that time, I wouldn't say that I was able to recognize the hurt because I haven't been hurted yet. You see what I'm saying? It was just still fun for me. It was still fun in games because I didn't take relationships serious because all the relationships I had been in, a woman did something somewhere in the beginning to violate my trust, my loyalty, or to put me in a position to feel like, now I gotta wonder. So it had got to that point. Like I said, now looking back on it, I can say I was hurt.
So would you say, okay, so you being in control of everything made you feel safe dealing with women?
Because I controlled the narrative.
So how did you break out of that?
Well, it's crazy because I broke out of it and then I jumped right back in.
Well, let's talk about how you broke out of it, and then we're going to talk about why
All
you jumped
right,
back
so I broke out of it when I met my daughter mother because she was new. She wasn't from Atlanta. You don't know my background. I don't know your background. This is something really fresh. It's a fresh start. So that's really how I broke out of it, with a fresh start. But I ended up going right back into it because, unfortunately, she put me through certain situations that was similar to what they did. But now we're grown. Now we're adults. See, when you just a young adult still at your mama's house or you still in college, it's room for those mistakes because you're really not grown yet.
Right.
You just out in the real world, dealing with real life responsibilities. But when you grown, paying bills and we living in the same house, now we grown.
Yeah.
So now it hit different. Can't go back home. Can't run to my mama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might be able to do that for yourself, but I can't do that as a man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So went through that, went through the drama, and once the drama was done, it was like I was still never the same. I still did my thing, but I knew how to keep it under wraps because I'm still dealing with hurt on hurt. So this is when you get me going from myself being Matthew, my first name, to now you getting KT, the alias, the one that everybody in the streets know about. So now that side done came out, and once he come out, it's hard for him to get put back up. It's hard. I ain't gonna say he a straight dog, but it's like he's ruthless.
Gotcha. So you enjoying your freedom with all these different women, and then your BM come along. I understand she was fresh, she was new, but was there anything just about her that made you like just take a pause and just drop all of these other females that you done built bonds with, and then go for this this brand new person?
Yeah, because I had no sexual desires with her. I truly liked her for her. I liked her like the conversations, her mentals, things like that. It was never about, ooh, she look good, I can't wait till that was never a thought.
Yeah.
And then once everything happened, it was cool, but I still valued her for the original reasons why I value her.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? But once everything happened, then it was like, whoop, back to the same old thing.
So was that 6 years, like when she started sleeping? Because you said y'all were together for 6 years. So
that was within the first year.
Within the first year. So was there cheating and all that going on for the other 5?
Yeah, I can't speak on her side, but I know for my side, I did.
Okay, so what changed? Was it the fact that maybe she had a baby and she started changing then? Like, because you said you couldn't speak on cheating, so what did she do?
So, nah, she definitely cheated.
Oh, okay.
But this was before the baby came about. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
when she cheated, we broke up.
Okay.
And we made an agreement because I had like 3-4 women after we broke up, but I was still learning like how to move with it. So she learned of it, found out, and wanted me back. So she took the steps that was supposed to be taken from her standpoint to try to win me back. It just so happened I lost one of my jobs, so now I need help on the bills. Now you coming back saying you want to help out on the bills. I'm a man first. Gotta take care of business first. So if you're gonna help me with these bills, all right, let's see what we can do. And we had an agreement that once my lease was up, if we couldn't see eye to eye or, get back on that same field, then we would go our separate ways.
Okay.
But she ended up getting pregnant in the middle of all that.
Got you. So let me ask you this. Were you still dealing with those other women when she came back to help you pay bills?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. That one thing about me, I learned from the OGs, you don't shit where you sleep at. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. Now before she got back, I would have my little fun here and there. Yeah. But once she came back, nah.
Gotcha. Okay, so when she came back, y'all were kind of good, at least for when the lease was up. So what did it in regards to y'all just ending it?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with one. When I got with her, I was 20 going on 21. She had literally just turned 18 fresh out of high school. Okay. But her mindset was so mature at the time that you wouldn't have known her age based upon how she acted. So by the time we got towards the end, she had a self-reflection of understanding, darn, I never took time to learn myself as a woman. I never took time to figure out what it is about me that I like to do. Yes, I had fun, but we jumped straight into grown folks' business. Then turned around, moved in. Then turned around and had a child. So she never had that opportunity to truly spread her wings. Versus me, I had that time before we got together. So when I got with her, I was already at the point, like, I'm tired of playing with females. I'm tired of, being a player. I want to settle down. But she hadn't had that opportunity.
Yeah.
And, I can't speak for most women, but from my learning in life, after a woman have a child, it does something to them all around. It could be positive. Sometimes it could be negative. But ultimately, that woman has to make that decision on how she's going to move forward. And, and like I tell all guys, just because your woman had a baby, don't mean it's going to happen directly when she had that baby. It might come years later. It might come after the second or third child. But when it hit, it's going to hit. And I think that's really what it was. It was like when it finally hit her, and she finally had a chance to just really reflect on everything we've been through, she needed a new space to grow. You know what I'm saying? So she ended up going back to Memphis. And me, on the other hand, I'm like, nah, man, we ain't breaking up. So I didn't break up with her. My baby mama broke up with me.
Got you. So how did you deal with that to get to that point, to realize all of that and realize that she just needed a new space to grow? Like, how did you get to that point? Because like you said, at first you was like, nah, we ain't breaking up. How did you get to that?
It really took a lot of self-reflecting. It took more so learning what true accountability really is. Because a lot of times I would blame a situation on this happening, or if this person would have did this or this person would have did that. And then I started blaming myself because I felt like, well, maybe I didn't do enough. You see what I'm saying? So I had one of my exes at the time, really like just coaching me through it, like keeping me sane and keeping my mental right, because it's like, this is the first time I'm separated from my child.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I've been there since day one. You couldn't tell me not to be there. I'm there. But now I'm in a position where I just can't get on the MARTA bus and ride on this side of town. I can't just call the Uber. I just can't get in the car. Y'all 5 hours away. You know what I'm saying? In a whole nother city. So it was like I had to really grip with all that. And then when I went to trucking school that summer for truck driving, it was my first time leaving Atlanta, like leaving everything behind.
Wow.
And I went to Springfield, Missouri with Prime Trucking, and I'm out there, and meeting other guys that's from Atlanta, but then I'm also seeing guys on FaceTime with their family, talking to their children mother. And at the time, me and my daughter mother, we was feuding. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the best example I can give of that is literally Rollo versus Moneybag Yo. You got Atlanta versus Memphis. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we colliding, but throughout the whole collision, the only person that's truly hurting is the child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's not something good. But one thing I can say, and I hope and encourage all baby mamas and baby daddies, or however you want to word it, never display arguments amongst you all in front of your child.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I thank God for I never had the real baby mama, baby daddy drama. We just couldn't see eye to eye with our choices of parenting. You see what I'm saying? We never had it to whereas I'm disrespecting her, she disrespecting me, or I'm going to the child saying your mama ain't this or your dad ain't that. We've never done that. We've always showed our daughter that whenever you see mama and daddy, we can get along. We want you to understand that so that way you won't feel nowhere in life like you messed up. Because it has nothing to do with you. You're the child. These are grown folks' issues. Right. But it's up to us adults to keep them issues in the adult limelight and not allow the child to see it.
That's some solid advice.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. I have some questions to ask you here.
Okay.
Dig into these questions.
Let's do it.
So my first one for you, no, I'm not going to ask you. Well, I'll see what you think. Because obviously people can't change. But do you think men and women can change?
Yeah.
Why not? What do you think it takes?
It take them wanting it. It's almost like when a man or a woman wants to get intimate with someone, they do the necessary steps to ensure that they can get that. So that same energy you put into that, you got to put that same energy into wanting to change.
How does somebody put that same energy into one thing that may be easier for them because it's familiar versus something else that's not familiar?
Research, homework, especially in today's time. YouTube is the biggest help. Remember how we used to have the book for dummies?
Yeah.
Now you got YouTube.
Google.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Google, like, there are so many resources now that it's really no excuse on to have an excuse. Like, I'm recently going through a certain situation with my spouse to whereas we're learning how to rebuild. We learning how to heal. See, my problem always been in relationships, and I'm pretty sure all my ex can say the same thing. I have a hard time letting stuff go. You know what I'm saying? I got a hard time of truly letting it go so we can grow past it. Yeah. I let it go for the moment, but the moment something pop up or I see something that trigger me, now I'm back on it. But now I'm at a stage in my life of learning how to move forward and learning how to grow. And like you were just asking, like, how do a person want to make a change when it's something that's foreign or unfamiliar versus doing what they always do? And for me, it's like, at a certain point in your life, you should get tired of doing the same thing. You know, it's just like from a man's standpoint, being a player. We in Atlanta. It's doing that 20, 30 women for every man. Yeah. But be real with yourself. Do you really want to lay down with 20 and 30 women who don't even know you, don't even have your best interests at heart? Yeah, it feels good for the moment. Yeah, she look good for the moment. Yeah, she might smell good for the moment. But is her health up to par? What is her livelihood like? How does she treat her kids if she have children? Because if you sitting here going in unprotectedly, you're taking a chance whether you shoot the club up or it's pre-com, you taking a chance. Yeah. So you got to ask yourself, if this is this the type of situation you want your future child to be brought up in? Do you want your child to know that the only reason you and mama and daddy together because it was a fling or however you want to word it? Like, nah. So for me, it was like, all right, I'm getting older. I might still look young, but in actuality, I'm getting older. So I got to sit here and be an adult about the situation. And I got to be the one to be the leader and show others the right way of doing things. Because we've been shown so many wrong ways and not been properly taught. And some of us may have had our fathers in the homes, but because our fathers never really had that true father foundation with their father, we're still not getting it. Right. It's like, yeah, you could be in the house, but if we're not having a relationship with one another, it's just the same as if you wasn't in the house. I'm still going to the streets. Yep. And that's what I end up doing. So it was like, let me change that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier with the music, all I knew was the streets when it came down to certain situations because that's where I gravitated to for my information. That's where I gravitated to for love that I wasn't getting at home. Yeah. And I brought it into my music. You know what I'm saying? Even when it come down to gang life, same thing. A lot of times, a lot of us males don't join the game because we scared. We join the game because we're looking for love. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for acceptance. We're looking for those to support us or make us feel like they're supporting us. So we'll take the necessary steps that the average person will say, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember my mom asked me when she finally came to the realization that, okay, I was in a gang. She was like, why would you want to join the gang? Why would you want to let somebody beat up on you? But when you in that moment, you're not looking at it like, oh, these guys just beat me up. No, you looking at, I got to prove my loyalty to you all so you all can show me that same loyalty
that
back.
I'm looking for, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but that's how it goes.
It's crazy how that dynamic works in like relationships and dealing with people in general, why people stay in toxic situations just because of that very thing that you just explained and broke down.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What is something that people normally do in relationships that you don't want to do?
Something that people normally do that they don't want to do. Lie.
No, of course nobody wants a liar in a relationship. What does people normally do in relationships that you don't care to do in yours?
Okay. Be friendly. Like relationship friendly, like telling all your business.
Go into detail about
So
that.
what I mean by that is like, I never been the type to tell my family my relationship business. Never.
Okay, so you don't agree with when they say you should go to your family and kind of consult stuff and then try to... So you don't agree with that at all?
I'm not going to say I don't agree with it at all. But for my family dynamic, no. Because I'm able to recognize that, now that I'm older, I'm able to recognize that they still haven't healed from some of their own trauma. So if I sit here and I go with my relationship problems to them, guess what? They're going to give me the same answer and results that they were taught. Instead of saying, okay, I see where my generation messed up. Let me ensure that my son or the next generation going forward don't make the same mistakes. They still stuck in their ways.
Got you.
So in my case, it wouldn't be healthy. It wouldn't be smart.
In your case.
Yeah, in my case. But on the flip side of it, like my lady family, they're loving, understanding, like they real. It's almost like when we used to read in school about the different families and the kingdoms. They are just that. Yeah. So it's like if I go to them, I can ask for advice and they will give me advice that's truly from the heart. And if I'm wrong, they gonna G-check me and let me know, hey, you know you was wrong, but this is how you can go about doing it. So for me, I never been big on telling my family my business, because one thing I learned too, if you run, and I ain't gonna use run like you scared, but if you go to your family, or even not even just your family, other people that don't have your best interest at heart, and you tell them right now, my guy, he abused me, he did this, he did that, guess what? Y'all might make up that later on that night, but you forgot you told them that. Right. So now that image is always in their head. They're going to always judge that person based on what you told them or the fact that they seen you at a vulnerable state that they would never want to see you at.
Right.
So it's like you got to be careful. That's why I'm big on, you can have friends, but you want friends that want to help see your relationship grow. See, it's one thing if you like right now, if you call me up and say, hey, KT, man, I'm going through this, I don't know what to do, I could easily say, well, girl, if that nigga come on out to the club with me, I got you a free section, free bottles, everybody. Or I could say, well, have you sat down and talked to him? Have you tried to see what his mental's like? Have you tried while I'm saying all this, it's really me trying to help you bring that happiness back in your relationship, because I seen you was happy in that relationship. So why would I take you out of that space when it's my job to help you stay in that space?
So that's only if you've seen the person happy within that space.
What
is the deal? What would be the deal breaker if somebody was really going through a bad spout in a relationship? Like when is it a deal breaker to finally just walk away? Do we always just work it out? I know that's what they used to do back in the day, but is that really healthy? And how do you feel about your friends? How do you feel about your girl having friends and going to her friends and seeking advice? Do you tell her, look, not too many friends, or where do you stand on that?
All right, so we're gonna jump the same question. I'm gonna go back to the friend. And it's funny you say that, because that's what we recently been conversating about.
Okay.
My thing is, you can have friends.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to identify who's really your friend. So you got some people that'll be down, that'll be around for you, but that don't mean that they down for you.
That's fact.
And the only reason I can speak on that is because going back when we were talking about me having all them women, I was that guy. I was that guy that would play the friend role until you break up with whoever, or until he mess up, and then I slide through the cracks. Yeah. And now I'm here. That don't mean we got to be together, but I got it though, because I caught you at a vulnerable state, and you already comfortable with me as a friend because we built this friendship. Yeah. Now when you're in a vulnerable state, you're more likely to give it up to me now than me coming out saying I want it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Real calculated.
Yeah. Like I said, I used to plot, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I can speak on that. And with me and her, we got an age gap. I'm 8 years older than her. Yeah. So the things that she's starting to experience, some of them I've already lived it. So it's like I can guide her better. But that doesn't mean that she's going to listen to everything I say like I'm her daddy type deal, because she still has to figure it out for herself.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell you all day, hey, the sky is blue. But until you walk outside that door, you will never know. Yeah. You got to learn for yourself. All I can ask and hope for is nothing catastrophic come about it, you know, from that. So when it come to like friends, you can have friends, but you also have to remember your friends have to be, they should want to be respectful of your relationship. Yeah. If this is truly your friend, it shouldn't be no issue with your friend meeting your significant other, whether it's the male or the female. If it's truly your friend, they should respect if you say, hey, I don't feel comfortable talking to you about blase, if it's a male, or for the males if it's a female. Because as a male, we got to respect our women too. A lot of times we so used to being able to be the player that we forget when we get a real one that I'm not really supposed to talk to this female the way I know them to do, because it's really disrespecting my relationship. Even if my girl don't know, I know. Yeah. And if you know better, you do better. Right. So that's on that. But far as healing, you know what I'm saying, working things out, when is the best time to walk away? It's crazy because I never walked away from a woman. They always walked away from me.
Did they ever walk away from you due to abuse, verbal abuse, any type of?
I mean, I wouldn't say I would not say the verbal side, but I never been a physical abuser. Like I love women, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love them by the pound, you know what I'm saying? So I can never like take these and put them up against a woman. Like nah, we being intimate in the bedroom, then that's a little different level. But just on regular GP, I can never put my hands on a woman, you know what I'm saying? Okay. But I can admit that I've had problems with not communicating with other women while I'm in a relationship. You see what I'm saying? And I seen one time, I want to say probably Bernard Mac, Long Live the Goat, and he said like a lot of time us fellas, we do things because we're trying to see if we still got it. That don't make it right though. Yeah. But we do it because we still got it. And then when you think about cheating, it's like this. When a man cheat, he cheating based upon how this woman look. She may have something or do something that his significant other is not doing. But when a woman cheat, it's based off emotions. Now, that's not to say that women cannot move the same as men, because women are very capable of really being and doing whatever they feel. So I don't want to make any woman feel like I'm limited to them whatsoever. But naturally, it's based on emotions, because we can never see each other a day in our life, but we can have great phone conversation. Remember the long distance relationship back in the day when you ain't even you ain't never seen that person, but you willing.
Did everybody go through that as a teenager? Like
you willing to go against your mama room? Get off that phone, all right, mama, and then you got the phone underneath the pillow. Be quiet, she about to come to the room. Shh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we never met these people. Yeah. But they got our mentals. So that's what I mean by that. Because with a guy, don't get me wrong, if a woman catch a man mental and emotions, that's more lethal than him cheating for physical. Yeah. Because now she showed that she care. And a lot of times, no one shows us that we care.
How does a woman, because I feel like women do show that they care, but to a man, how does it stick to a man? And I wanted to circle back too. Is that why men be like that's why men claim like they're done with women once they cheat, because they feel like, okay, this other man got her emotionally, and that's why they take it super hard compared to,
I wouldn't say
a woman, because a lot of things that men put women through, they just take it.
That's true.
A woman do one thing and it's either a rap, or that man, like you said, you hold on to stuff and can't let go. Like,
I mean, I feel like it for some guys. Well, let me answer this first. Okay. For us, how to care for a man, it depends on the man that you with. Okay. Because how I might receive you caring for me may not be the same as the next man. Right. Even though we got the same end and goal to be cared about, it's different. Just like every woman is different. So you really have to study your man. You got to really learn your man. Like I used to tell my exes and even my girl now, I study you. I know when there's something off. I know when something's going on. Even though I may not speak on it at the moment, I already know. Yeah. Because I studied you. I took the time to want to learn you. So, and I do that because after having a child, You want to do that so when your child start growing up, you ain't got to call the mom and be like, hey, why so-and-so doing this? You already see it. You already see the other parent ways. And you can readily identify and know how to move about it. So I do that because, one, I know I want more kids. My old lady want kids. So I need to learn her. You know what I'm saying? God forbid anything happen to her after we have children, who can I go to if she's gone? I should have capitalized on that opportunity to learn her so now I could better understand my child. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people you got to learn your spouse. If they have podcasts, if they have YouTube video, anything that they have out that's for the public, there's no reason why you don't know about it.
Right.
There's no reason why you shouldn't have done your homework. That's not saying, like in my case, I got 3 seasons of my podcast that just ratchet before we got to a business aspect. But I'm not asking you to go back and listen to all 3 seasons. But somewhere in there, you should at least still been trying to tap in type deal.
Right.
So that's with that. Like, but like I said, as far as letting go, I've never let nobody go. I mean, I've always been let go. Like what they say, you just got let go, and it be my fault. Like,
so what have you learned from every situation, and how do you move differently now?
Well, to be honest, it really took me going through a real toxic breakup.
Okay.
From my ex-fiance.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And Shada was hardcore. She was hard about it. Like we been grown right here now, America. She was a stripper. She was a track queen.
Oh.
She was an armed security. You know what I'm saying? And she had another hustle going on while I take care of her kids and make sure I was straight.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, you hear stripper, you like, oh, I can't be with no stripper. She in the club doing this with this, that, and the third. But get what? In my case, every time she went out and got to that situation, she would Google Duo me because she had an Android. You know what I'm saying? You know, Android, iPhone, y'all can't just FaceTime like that. But, you know what I'm saying? She checked in with me. Like, she was reassuring me that, look, even though this is my profession, I'm still yours.
Yeah.
But I also had to accept, knowing that I accepted her as my woman, that this is her profession. And if I want her to get out of the business, then I need to step up as a man and be able to provide the income to support what she already got, plus what I'm trying to bring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, when everything got ready to crash out, because it was like she was dealing with issues with her baby daddy that end up getting to the streets, and then it was like her focus was so there that's when I end up stirring off and start talking to other women. Not because I wanted those women, but because I wasn't getting the attention from the one that I wanted it from, because she was caught up in her real life situation. Gotcha. You see what I'm saying? Even though I'm with you, but that's not my beef. But I inherited the beef because I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm
inheriting the beef because we living together. We living back and forth from my spot to your spot. I'm taking the kids to school in the morning, picking them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Mr. Matt. You know what I'm saying? Not stuck that I'm Mr. Matt. So it was like, I had to truly understand that. So when the breakup happened, I can't make this. I gotta tell y'all how it happened, right? I had just bought us 2 brand new iPhones.
Okay.
Cash money. When Uncle Aaron would say cash money. No payment plan, cash money.
All right.
I left one of my phones at the house. Then realized that the messages that was in one phone was going to the other phone.
Oh, shit.
So as I'm taking one of my homies to a job interview, I come back and I push up on her, like just regular. And she said, I'm going to ask you something. I'm like, what's up? She was like, would you cheat on me? I'm like, no. She got out the car. Went in her spot. I'm like, what going on? Like, what's she tripping about? I follow her. She get in her car. So I jumped in her car, left my car, jumped in her car. Like, what you talking about? And she just started spazzing out, right? I'm talking about she's speeding on the road. Now, in my mind, I should have been like, fool, get out the car, fool. She might try to kill you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know she capable of. But the whole time, I'm just like trying to calm her down, trying to get things. Man, we went back to my spot. She started taking down the stripper pole. I mean, now I'm really hurt because you taking the pole. You know what I'm saying? Once you take that pole, you gone. You out of there. So I'm like, oh, no. So I'm begging. Like, it was my first time ever getting on my knees begging a woman not to leave me.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So in the midst of that, the toxic side of me, I grabbed the middle part of the pole. That way, once you try to set it up, you realize you can't set it up because you need that one little piece that connect. So you going to call me back. You know what I'm saying? You going to hit me back. Man, after that, we tried to make it work, and then it made me mad because I'm a provider and a protector, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because we had 2 different households, she had her, I had mine, I bought her one of them sticks that go at the door. That way you can lock it. Girl, why she use my stick on me? I got the key to get in the house. I can't even get through because the stick at the door. Then I see her through the window. That's how toxic I am. I'm looking through the window. So you ain't going to answer the phone? I know you see me. I see you. So then she get up off the couch and then go in the other room. I said, okay. So I drive myself home. And then after that, it just wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And we finally just had to, I guess you could say, just let it go.
Got you. So,
but I gotta add it though.
All right.
Cause fellas, we are toxic. This how toxic I was, right? So I knew she had moved on. You know, people telling me I'm screenshotting the picture so I calculate how many dudes you done been with, trying to see if you're gonna actually be happy. Even had a point where I would literally take my sister's car so she wouldn't see us in my car and drive around the neighborhood hoping to catch her outside walking the dog so I could try to talk to her and get her attention. I did that for my sister stayed, we probably about 6 months, so at least about 5 out of them 6 months.
God damn.
Yeah. And this was so crazy. The day I did not go, because I was going faithfully every day, because I knew her schedule. You know what I'm saying? The day I did not go, she had other issues with whoever she was dealing with. I get a call that morning from one of her people, so they're like, yo, she got a green light on your head. I'm like, what? About what? Oh, she think you slice her tires. Slice her tires? I don't slice no tires. Now, if they would have said maybe shoot the tires up, something like that, nah, I'd be like, okay, I can see why she would believe that, but slice? I don't even have a blade. I don't even use my kitchen knives. I still use the butter knife.
Oh, my God.
So I'm like, nah, that ain't. And folk like, you sure it wasn't you? I'm like, no. Because one thing about me, I love children. I never do anything that would hurt anybody's child indirectly or directly. Okay. So if I was to do that to them tires, how the baby's going to get to school?
Yeah.
What if they got to go to the doctor? What if you got a family emergency? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that type. Like, it was even a situation where her baby daddy dropped the load on her grandma's spot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. And I had to go in hood mode and, like, you know what I'm saying, really make sure nothing went down over that way. So if I would do that to protect you and your family, why would I turn around and harm you and harm them babies indirectly? Right. So that went on for about a good little week or two. Then she finally figured out it wasn't me. But the whole time I'm having to watch my back because you know everything about me. You know where I be.
Yeah.
It was literally like 90 days at Rice Street because we was only together 90 days.
Yo.
I put a ring on her in less than 90 days. VVS's.
So what? Why so fast?
Man, she caught me at the right time. She was showing me everything that nobody else was. Like, she would literally get me juicy crab. And I know for some of y'all, juicy crab ain't there, but for me, man, juicy crab every day on break. And she was right up the street. Like, literally from here to that light where I worked at.
So what would your love language be? Is it receiving gifts? What would you say your love language is? Your top one? Because I know we usually have like one or two up in there.
And you know, I just learned this like 3 days ago. Music.
So music is your love language. Are you familiar with the 5 love languages?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, but I realized I had a new one that wasn't in the 5. And it was that music. Like, and that's the thing. She knew how to play music. She had the candles lit. You know what I'm saying? She knew how to set the mood. And then we'll just sit there and just talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, just talk about things. Like, how we feel about this. How the kids are going through this. We both had daughters. Her daughter was older than mine, and she had 2 little boys. So we talking about our daughters, and then I'm looking at how she raising her boys. You know what I'm saying? Give me flashbacks when my mama had to raise me, and then my grandmama. So it was like, we had a lot of things in common, and we took the time to truly know one another. Like, yeah, we can get down with the get down, but what about after that? So
words of affirmation sound like it's a big one for you.
Yeah. You got to let me know it's real.
Got you. Okay. So 90 days. So that's, you would say she just caught you at the right time and did the right stuff.
Girl, let me tell you, the day I got the FaceTime, because her folks FaceTime me, I was preparing for a booty call. Literally, I had just got out the shower, manscaped, oiled down. I was just about to hit shawty up, like, come on, push up. And her folk FaceTime me. I'm like, what's up with it? She's like, hey, I got my cousin with me. We about to come push up on you. I'm like, yo, cuz? I'm like, it's a female or a nigga? She's like, boy, you know it's a female. I ain't bring no niggas to your spot. Oh, okay. Push her in. Man, she came through that door. And she wasn't no, like, that's the one thing about me. I love women, so I ain't picky. She was slim with it. Long hair, glasses. I'm like, ooh. And what G Wine said in those jeans, I'm like, ooh. Okay, so we sat down. Her cousin there chopping up one of my peoples. And me and her in there talking. and just was talking.
Yeah.
And she, like I said, she caught my mental.
Yeah.
So when she caught my mental, mind you, I supposed to have the booty call on the way. Shawty started blowing my phone up. I ain't even answering. And I just met her. So then right after she left, I'm like, wow, I like her. So then before I had a chance to hit her cousin to tell her to hit me, she had already hit me up from her phone. So now you want me. I'm not familiar with a woman that's want me and put in the effort at that time. So when she did that, it caught me in. The next day we went on a nature walk. Just me and her. Went on a nature walk.
Sound like something different for you.
Exactly. So we did that. I'm like, okay, we just walking and talking, really getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, she had all these street-like accolades, but she really wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So then it was time for us to meet the kids, because as parents, we know if our children don't accept you, it ain't going to go nowhere.
So literally after y'all nature walk, you met the kids?
Yep.
Y'all were real quick with it.
Yeah. All gas, no brakes.
So let me ask you this. Did you move different with the girl that you with now? Or was it always been all gas, no brakes?
Nah, it was different with her too. Because I got my own spot. She didn't want to come back to the spot. I slept in my car 5 days in a row. Because she'll get off at that time at that job 1, 2 in the morning. Mm-hmm. At the time I had to be to work at 5 in the morning. So where she worked at was in adjacent to down the street, because you know Atlanta was down the street, really ain't no walk down the street, but it's down the street driving. It was right there at my spot, but she didn't want to come back. She made me wait. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to just rush to come to my house just because I had a house. So I felt like, well, if I want to keep talking to you or learn you, I'm going to have to sit in the car. It was many nights I sat outside her grandmama's spot and just talked to her.
It sounds like you always been just a lover boy in a way.
Yeah, I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's why I don't like to fight. If I got to fight, then you know it's a problem. But I'm a lover.
Where you think that stems from and come from?
Being raised with my grandma. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the love of a woman, getting that nurturing. You know what I'm saying? Seeing how she took care of the whole community, even folks that wasn't even her family, but just that old school upbringing. Because I grew up in Macon, Georgia as a child. My teenage years and going forward was on the south side in College Park and Riverdale. So before the streets grabbed me, I was a grandmama boy.
That's what I'm about to ask you. So what changed? So when you moved from Macon to Atlanta, what changed? Were you with your grandma?
So when I left Macon, it was right prior to her passing. Because my mom was in the military. So I'm in Virginia at that time. Because that's where she was stationed at. So after she passed, went my Dukes, met my pops for the first time. Well, from my knowledge. Because you know how they say growing up, well, you been met this person, but we don't remember half that stuff back then. So at that point, he back in my life. And then we come back to the A. And we right there on the south side in Clayco at that time. And what was new about it was I went from being grandmama's baby and the spoiled one to now I'm in the real world. Because see, in Macon, Georgia, it's the country.
Right.
You can walk there everywhere you want to. You can walk outside but barefoot in the backyard and not have to worry about that. Pick up pecans off the ground and eat them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm in the city. Now I'm learning what the city life is like. Now I'm dealing with neighborhoods. Now I'm dealing with gangs and stuff like that.
Right.
I wasn't used to that. Now, the only thing I was used to in Macon growing up was, granted, Macon is a gang-populated city. And I grew up being taught that we couldn't wear red. But I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
Not as an adolescent. Not when all our television was basic channels. Wasn't no cable. Wasn't no satellite dish. You had them 5 basic channels. And your grandmama and them watched them faithfully. And your favorite shows was they soap operas. Whether it was ABC or CBS. You know what I'm saying? So that was my upbringing. So when I came to the city, now I'm seeing everything different.
Got you. So you say your mama was in the military. Was she there often?
In my life?
Yeah. Even after you came back from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I remember
when we came back to Atlanta, she had just got out the service.
Got you. So the shift from how your grandma treated you to your mom, was there a difference there? And that's probably why you... Yeah. Okay.
Yes, big there. My mom wasn't playing that. My mom wasn't babying me. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a single mother for the most part in the beginning. Because she was in the military when she had me. That was the crazy part. My mother had an opportunity to be one of the first black women in her ranking. Mm-hmm. But the military told her at the time, you got a choice. That child that's in your stomach or this rank. Which one you want? She chose me. You know what I'm saying? So She got out for a minute after, a little 4 years contract with her. Then she went back, like I think like 96, 97.
Okay.
And then that's when she got out again, right when my grandma passed, how I got with her. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
With my mama, she always taught me how to survive.
Got you. So do you think, though, with her always teaching you how to survive, like, when a woman caters to you, does this, does that, does it bring you back kind of home to how your grandma treated you?
Exactly.
So that's why you fell in love with that girl within 90 days and wanted to propose to her?
Yep.
So when
I like how you put that too.
When everything flipped and her life just started taking over and she wasn't giving you that attention, what did you guys try to do to bring it back? Or what did you try to do before you went off and cheated?
That's the thing. I didn't. I jumped into my mama mode of surviving. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I went from loving and caring to where I feel like you're not giving it to me. So now I got to learn how. Now I got to jump back to survival mode because this is all I know now.
I love how you caught that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in survival mode, I'm doing what's best for me.
Yeah.
Not what's best for the relationship or anybody that's around. And I don't care who gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because my mama had to raise me because I'm a mama only child. I got 2 little brothers on my dad's side, but it was always just me in the beginning. So she always taught me, you got to take care of yourself. Yeah. Nobody going to do it for you. All you got is God and yourself. And you got to make a choice on what you going to do. So it's like, that's why every time I'm in a situation, in a relationship where the female will make a move, because that's the thing, I've never been the one to cheat first. It's always either I caught something, not caught like something like that, and then like that. But I mean, like, caught
yeah,
a
let's
win.
clarify that.
Yeah, let's clarify that. I'm STD free, okay? But like just catching wind that the woman I'm with, her attention is somewhere else. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I never had, out of my whole 32 years, going on 33 years of living, I never had a situation where the woman focus was strictly on me the complete time.
Got you. So how do you balance? Because it seemed like you'll knock into survival mode pretty quick. How do you balance that now? Like, I know awareness is definitely helpful. Now you're aware of it. So let's say you're in a situation now, maybe something's going on with your current situation. Maybe your girl attention, it could be not even towards a man. It could be on a project, anything. Mm-hmm. How do you like kind of parent yourself to make sure that you're okay while she's going through what she's going through? And then how do you communicate to let her know that you feel a shift? Now?
Okay, I like that. At this point,
yes,
God. And even though he should always be the, you know what I'm saying, the media throughout everything, is like this year alone has really brought me closer to him to have a better level of understanding on how to deal with my problems. Because normally, when I feel some type of way, I'm going to act another way. You know what I'm saying? Like you were just saying, that's that survival mode instinct. Yeah. But it's like now learning how to tame that.
Or even be able to vocalize how you really feel and not act out on her, or even being okay with showing a little bit of vulnerability. Yeah. That you
I don't have no, see, that's that about me. I don't have no problem with showing no vulnerability. But don't show me that you don't care about my vulnerability. Because then you're not going to get it.
Okay, so let's say you see your girl, like you said, your girl attention just kind of shifted. It didn't sound like she cheated or anything like that, but something was going on and she was more focused on that. So your reaction was to go ahead and just start talking to other females, right?
You talking about in my situation now?
No, not your situation now. I'm going back to
that. Yeah. So with that, I went back to what I know. One of the women from them 5. See, one thing my baby mama used to always tell me, you got loyal hoes. Because she would literally go through my phone while I'm asleep and try to text them from my phone. And they knew it wasn't me because of how I talk. Like, I might have a female that I might be like, shit, Shy, what's up with that pussy? She might hit me back, what's up with that dick? Shit, girl, how you doing today? Oh, I'm good. But that's how we initiate that conversation. So when she tried to text me, be on some, hey, what's up? They knew it wasn't me because I don't talk to them that way. Or how I'm spelling certain words. So it was like I always been able to keep loyal women.
Loyal by you asking them, hey, what's up with that pussy?
I mean, not all of them. Like, I just use that as an example to whereas, like, ain't nobody just gonna come text a girl that unless they have that type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when that situation happened with my ex-fiance and she drifted off, and mind you, like I said, she's in the business. She's in the adult entertainment business. Right. So I don't know what's really going on. I'm taking a chance on trusting you. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know some of y'all women say a man don't know when a woman cheat. That's a lie. We can feel the difference when we go back in. It's not the same. It's just like when you go through this door right here. You know how it feels to walk through the door. You walk through it all the time. But if that door was shifted a little bit, it was cracking a little bit, if it was to this, to that, you're going to know the difference.
I don't know if I would know the difference. I'm kind of oblivious to stuff like that. But
Because a woman...
I mean, do you only know the difference if the guy's like way bigger? Because what if the guy's smaller?
I had that situation happen.
How do you know the difference? Does the texture change?
So the thing about it is like, for one, if the girl dealing with a dude that's a lot smaller than you, you're not going to know 100% the difference because he's trying to fit your space. You see what I'm saying? So for him, it's a new feeling, but he might feel like the girl have no walls because you bigger than him. So if the girl goes to a guy that is either the same size or bigger, those walls are still trying to recontract back. But if the guy is small, it ain't hard for her to snap back like that.
So she must be trying to fuck you and fuck the other person in like a day or two frame. Because I feel like women, they usually snap back pretty quick.
Yeah, they can. But it's a mental thing, too. Think about it, like growing up, a lot of women didn't know how to control their muscles down there because they weren't taught. And it's nobody's fault, you know what I'm saying? We could point fingers, but ultimately it's nobody's fault because of learning experience. But for a guy, we can get with a woman that knows how to work it. We can get with a girl that don't know how to work it, but it works on autopilot based on how she feeling down there.
Yeah.
Or we can get a woman that just oblivious of it all. That's why if you notice, guys stop saying, "Oh, she don't have no walls." It ain't that she ain't got no walls. It's just somebody else was bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? You trying to fit a space that wasn't meant for you to fit in.
Oh.
Just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to get back right, tell her to go take a vinegar bath. That's what the old folks used to say.
Engineer about to drop some gems, child. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, but to go back to circle back to what you were saying earlier about like, how do you move past that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What does it do to a man? It's not the fact that another guy got our woman's attention. It's the fact that you allowed somebody in a space that was only supposed to be mine.
Why is it only supposed to be yours when life be lifing?
You know, that's the second time I heard that life be lifing. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you telling me this is mine, and I'm...
Oh, you talking about sexual still. Okay, never mind. I thought we was talking about going back to the girl 90 days.
No, my bad.
No, yeah, I get that. I get that. I thought we was talking about that. Because sometimes...
Yeah, but this the crazy part, right? Mm-hmm. You going to get it exclusive because I ain't never said this on camera.
Oh.
I just found this out this year.
What's that?
So while I would beat myself up over me and her breakup, we're talking about the fiance thing.
Yeah.
She had a whole nother situation. So after she found out about me going through the phone, she had made another move to get with another guy. Come to find out, as I was leaving out, because remember, after she found out, it went from me there every day to I'm there like every other day because she like trying to make me pay for it or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But while I'm leaving, he's coming. Literally.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I got word of that this year.
So So was this during the time you thought she was slipping and all that stuff? Was he there then, or was he there after the fact when she found out?
He came after the fact, after she found out.
After you were cheating. So you still cheated first.
Texting wise, not physical. See, if y'all
stop that. Emotional cheating, depending on the person, emotional cheating is still cheating. You
right, and I learned that. Y'all go listen to my HBK project because I did a whole project about that breakup because of how I felt. I even said, you said a nigga cheating. I swear I didn't fuck any of the bitches. That's on my daughter. You got one that stayed 5 states away from here, another one that's on the whole other side of Georgia. I ain't never messed with a girl physically, but I had to learn after that relationship and that breakup accountability that was a form of cheating.
Yeah,
because in my mind, that's not cheating. My mind, cheating is when you physically allow someone into the space.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to learn from that. And once I learned from it, and she was so toxic, she started taking the engagement ring and wearing it on social media. As if me and her still won. Even got back reaching out to me. I'm thinking we about to kick it off everything just to find out she get married on our anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm talking about the whole morning. I'm reposting pictures of me and her, giving advice out there like, fellas, don't mess up. You got something good, like all this good stuff. Just look at her cousin Instagram and find out she getting married on our anniversary. So I'm like, what?
So you think so? Did she use your ring to actually marry somebody else? Is that why you got confused? Because you said she was posting a ring.
I got confused because you start wearing my ring around Thanksgiving time and posting stuff, and then and everybody knows that's the ring that I bought. Nobody else put no ring on your finger. I was the only one.
So did this guy not even put a ring on her finger?
Nope. There was no ring because even after the fact. Like, after I seen all that, I turned up. I was mad. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you gonna do this to me? Like, I felt like David Ruffin when they kicked him out the Temptations. Ain't gonna be no temptation without David Ruffin. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going in, but afterwards, because we got a mutual person in the middle of us mediating, so we relinked later on, like months after the fact. She wasn't even with that guy no more. He did the same thing I did because her attention was somewhere else. She ran and she didn't realize all these guys you was going through after me and you broke up, you still never learned your lesson of it. Yeah. See, through every breakup, there's a lesson for both sides.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's meant to be over. If it's not meant to be over, it's still lessons, but we can bounce back.
Right.
But if we choose not to understand the lesson, now that L is a loss instead of a lesson. So then that goes back to what you were saying about, like, can you rebuild? Is it good to stay to work it out? If it's physical abuse, excuse my French, fuck no. Okay. You know what I'm saying? No woman deserves to be pounded on by any man or woman. Period. You guys are queens. You guys are the reason why everybody on this earth is on this earth. Can't nothing on this earth be here without coming from a woman. So how dare we disrespect a woman? Right. How dare we sit here and make a woman feel less than? How dare we strip a woman of her pride, her dignity, and her femininity? How?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, nah, baby, leave.
Yeah.
Because just because he said he ain't going to do it this time, don't mean years later you won't piss him off and he'll do it again. And if he'll do it again, who's to say you're going to make it that time? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got people that I was really locked in with for life, to where I would have took a bullet for these guys. But the moment I learned that they was abusing women physically, I separated myself because I got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? I got a mother. I was raised by a grandmama, and I got a sister with nieces, and I got another niece. And let any one of them call me on that, I'm on go mode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I don't still love them from a distance, but I got to separate myself, because how can I sit here and say everything I'm saying, but yet I'm still kicking it with a woman abuser?
Yeah.
That don't make sense.
It don't at all.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's the only time you should walk away. But if there's no physical abuse, it was no bloodshed, and it's a simple misunderstanding, and the fact that both of you guys are trying to get past trauma, because people don't realize too, when you cheat on somebody, no matter what realm it is, physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever, you are reopening wounds that somebody else already did. Because we're grown. It's not like we still in high school to where we never experienced a heartbreak.
Yeah.
At this point in our lives, everybody been heartbroken.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your number one job is to learn. Like, some people say, I don't want to know about my significant other past. Yes, you do. You want to know their sexual past. You want to know their love life. You want to know all that. So, one, you can make sure you don't make the same mistakes that the other guys made, which is how you got her. And for the women, you want to also know your man trauma, so that way you can make sure that you do not put him through the same thing. See, it be those type of things that make people break up, because they feel like, well, Dawn, I told you. Yeah. I warned you. And you went out and did the same thing. So why should I stay?
Yeah.
So then that's when it comes from the woman's standpoint, or the man, if the role was flipped. Now you got to prove why they should be with you. Because it's easy to give up. And some people will say, well, you're not giving up. You protecting yourself. Technically, you giving up. Because y'all wouldn't have been brought together for no reason if it wasn't meant for y'all to be. Yes, it could be for that season and for that moment. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing about the seasons. Do the seasons ever change? We still got spring, we still got winter, we still got summer, we still got fall. And we all 20 years plus. Has that ever changed?
That hasn't changed, but sometimes you got to experience a new person in a new season.
Now, that's true. But that don't mean that the old person from the other season can't come back a couple of seasons later. Look at this ATL weather. I mean, if we supposed to have winter in December, and we don't really feel it till April and March.
Got you. Okay. Well, how do we close situations that prove to be not good for us? Because yeah, people can come back around and circle back around, but is it just due to familiarity?
That's exactly
You know what I'm
what
saying?
it is.
Yeah,
And I had to learn that.
Yeah, due to familiarity and due to trauma bonding and due to all of that stuff. Is that person?
I love that. Yeah.
Is that person really healthy for you? Sometimes people come back around and it's not right, but it feel right because it's what's familiar. And then you got this new person. I know for me, like, okay, you got this new person. They they're great, right? But in a way, they don't stimulate me the same. And I got this old person trying to come back in.
That actually knows how to
They know me, but they know me in a way that I'm trying to grow from. Do you go back? Because it's a familiar season?
We all mess up and go back. We do.
In the past.
But we got to learn going in the future on how to correct that.
Yeah.
We got to learn that, like you said, we can have somebody that really knows us, that really knows how to be there for us. But if we got a person in front of us that we want, we got to teach them how.
And show them.
Exactly. Guess what? When we first jumped off the porch, nobody knew how to suck dick or eat pussy. You know what I'm saying? We had to learn how to do it. You had to go through trial and error. Nobody was perfect.
Right.
But then guess what? When we get to the stage that we are and we receive, and it's so good, and we be like, oh my God, I can't believe God, they was amazing. Not once did it cross your mind. I wonder how many women he been down there on to get to that point. I wonder how many guys she done sucked up to get to that point. Nobody care about that. Not that it may not cross your mind at a certain point, but it's not a major care because it's like, you know what? You mine now.
Yeah.
And now it's mine.
That's how men should think, but some are so, what's the word? I can't
Immature.
Think. Immature. Some are so
narcissistic.
Right. All of that. You know what I'm saying?
Trifling.
Right. All of that. You that damn good. You sucking and fucking from the past. They want to know how many people, and they probably thinking you still doing it.
Yep.
If you that good. But that's another conversation. I digress.
But that's just immaturity though. Is once a man or a woman reach that level of maturity to understand we all gonna have sex. It's life.
Yeah.
What you gotta value is the fact that that person chose you to be the last one that they do it with. Whether it's for the moment, whether it's for the season, whatever, they're with you.
Yeah.
Cherish that. Make sure they don't go nowhere. Ask them their sexual fantasies. Ask them what have they not done. Try to be the leader.
Right.
And if it's a woman that she's more experienced than her male partner, then show him. Be different. Yeah. It's okay to be dominant. A lot of times we want a woman that's dominant because we're always dominant in the real world. Yeah. Sometimes we just want to relax and let you take control. But sometimes because of how certain guys have put that energy out there, a lot of women feel intimidated or afraid to take that control. And a lot of women that has unfortunately been through abusive situations, it makes it harder for them to even want to do that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, as a man, that's why you got to know your woman past so you can know how to heal her. You can know how to help her. Just because we say we heal don't mean we really heal. Yeah. Sometimes we telling ourselves that to convince ourselves, but we still hurting.
That's true. That's very true. Let me ask you this. What would you say is the hardest lesson you've had to learn and just overcome when it comes to like just dating relationships?
Letting stuff go.
Letting stuff go.
You
still going through it, huh?
Yeah, like I have a hard time with letting it go. I do, but I'm learning. It's all about the reason I feel like I've had a hard time with letting things go is because there was no clarity. I didn't have I ain't gonna say I did not have, but I didn't know how to properly execute the opportunity of asking for clarity without blowing up, without getting mad. Because a lot of times we'll ask a girl, well, what happened? And the moment she say, well, we did, oh, you can't believe da, 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 da. So now she don't want to tell no more because she don't know what you gonna do if she actually continue the whole story. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we gotta, and I say everybody, we gotta learn to be respectful when the truth is being told. And one thing my pastor told me recently was, you can't get mad when you ask for the truth. And in my mind, I'm like, I already know that, but then it didn't register that. Fool, you just blew up.
How do you not blow up now? Do you breathe? Like what
I still blow up. I ain't gonna lie, I still blow up. But I'm man enough to come back and apologize and say I'm sorry for reacting the way that I did. I'm not sorry for what I said, I'm sorry for how I reacted.
A true Virgo.
Yep. What they say is not what you say, is how you said it.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I started off asking you these questions, I was calm like this. And the moment you told me something I didn't like, I blew up. You know what I'm saying? So it's levels to it.
Got you. Okay. Now, tell the audience where they can find you, Mr. TMP.
Hey, man, y'all make sure y'all tap in with me on all music platforms at Mr. TMP. That's MRTMP, no dot, no space. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at KT_TMP. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all catch me on that Lunchbox Morning Show on 101 TKO Radio.
Yes.
Make sure y'all tap in with the podcast, Dirty Talk ATL Podcast, straight like that on Instagram, on Spotify Podcast, Apple Podcast, and my YouTube, True Made TV.
That's what's up. I want to thank you for your time and your energy.
I appreciate you. And you know what? I want to tell you something. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Since we've been conversating off camera and now on camera, you really gave me that fire to kick everything back up with the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So I've already been making certain moves and getting certain things situated. So I want to say thank you for giving me that light back to where I need to be back doing.
Thank you so much. That made my day. You done made my day. You done said a few things. Earlier you gave me some advice that I really needed. What did you reminded me what? It's not a marathon. Wait. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I really needed that. So
and I'm going to tell you that too before we get out. Anybody that's out there that's trying to figure out how to deal with certain things in life, what I do, if you don't go to, on outside from a spiritual standpoint, but just on a flesh, worldly standpoint, I listen to a lot of Nipsey Hussle interviews.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was drawn in from the street side, but as I became older and started maturing, I started truly valuing what he was saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as a father myself of a daughter, it's very important that we be the example. And this one, all my fellas out there, don't be mad if your daughter goes this way, because her first sign of love is you. If you're not the man that you're supposed to be, then that's what she's going to attract.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want your daughter to essentially, because we all make mistakes, but if you want her to essentially be with a good man, then you got to be the example of that good man for her.
Ooh, preach.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you gotta be everything. That don't mean you're gonna accomplish everything, but in your child's eyes, you are the hero, the role model, the one they can call on for anything, and also you're gonna be the first one to break her heart when we tell them no.
Yeah.
We're the first ones to tell them no. You can't have this. But we also gotta be the ones who explain to them why. Because when we don't explain to them why, they go ask their friend over here, or they go ask this guy that they think really like them, but really he don't. He's being a young boy himself.
Yeah. And
now we got a whole situation on our hands.
That's what's up.
That's why I say the marathon continue. It ain't a race, it's a marathon.
Absolutely. And that's how we going to end this podcast. Thank you so much, Mr. TMP.
Thank you.
And until next time.